You're going to look for a Varus for leave. Just curious to see what TT gets here. I mean, Gwen's on the board. You would be swapping Gwen plus Rumble. So, again, ThunderTalk. If you take Rumble here, you are kind of flip-flopping the Gwen plus Rumble, and you can even enable NIP to take that on 3 if they want, or play a different Rumble counter. I got to believe that with the Ezreal ban, this is probably going to be a Varus coming in, yeah.
Yeah. Just a little bit of comfort for Hoya up on the top side. It's his most played. Leave is going to get his 10th game of Varus in. He's been a little suspect on the champion at times. I think the biggest issue is that Leave has been so good on some of these hyper carries, even though hasn't been able to carry the game home most of the time, usually positional mistakes later on. But he has been a big driver as to why NIP are in some of these games. So it just feels a little weird to like put him on Varus, but Varus is just that good. We're also seeing Vi slip through here in game 1, which is an increasing rarity. So we'll see what they'll pair it up with in the mid lane here. Maybe a Doinb Aura, I'd guess.
Maybe. I'd actually really like the Skarner. I think that's a good option here for XiaoHuanGren. It kind of dissuades Poke Varus, or you aren't too concerned about Poke Varus. Okay, never mind. We're going to go Wukong. You have some invade options into Vi, and you do scale really nicely. You're a bit of a tank buster, but you don't really want to play a tank top into Rumble, and then it's going to be the Akali picked up, which, again, has a good matchup with the Gwen. So what I like for ThunderTalk right here is both Akali and Rumble early on to the Gwen. You can actually really try and keep that Gwen down. I don't think they have the strong enough jungler to, like, really be able to powerfully interact in here, but at least there could be an opportunity to try and slow this Gwen down, which could be a problem later on.
Teamfight's going to be the name of the game for ThunderTalk, and I do wonder if we're going to get 5 Doinb bans. Is that Aurora is taken off the board of some of Vi's better pairings, like Ahri and Talia. He doesn't play them. He just does not play them, has not played them this year at all.
Yeah, we've seen one Talia.
Yeah.
You don't want to play Talia into Akali, too.
No, it seems awful.
Yeah, I am kind of curious to see what he ends up grabbing here.
I think what they let him have.
I mean, he could just play Victor. I think Victor is a decent ban. Again, he's mostly played magic damage champions as well. I think Hui has actually been okay for Doinb. If he wants to do that. I mean, we could just see him like yoink a Pantheon here too, which I actually wouldn't mind Pantheon mid if he's thinking about a game to do it.
Off the board, I fear.
Oh, it is.
All right,
okay.
We're going to take out Talia. I think that's interesting. You know, I really think that's interesting. I think that I'm with you on the Victor ban.
Does he Silas?
He does Silas.
Play TF for the Blanc. That'd be hype, but I think Silas is probably the safe pick here.
Probably.
Yeah.
He has played quite a bit of it. We see him cycling through multiple champions. Again, we just really don't know what he's going to go through at this point. I'd be shocked to see this Ahri locked in.
Okay.
And we will get it locked in. Listen, we're showing some growth here. Yeah, we're showing some growth here in the final match of the regular season here in Split 2.
Doinb's played 17 unique champions this split. Base Doinb as always. Third Ahri game of the split. I think it's the right game for it, frankly. I mean, we're throwing around other ideas because it was Ahri or Silas for me. And the fact that we go Ahri means that the power pick Alistar does get secured, and we'll see what the pairing is for 1xN. I think opportunity, he's been an Ashe enjoyer. I don't think there's a great opportunity for Ashe this game. Might just be a default to MF. But I think there's a lot of things that can pressure. And you are going to get support counterpicked.
Oh,
this would be uncommon, but I'd like it. Okay,
it's so
1xN.
Good. That's a great
right.
pickup for ThunderTalk. Getting to be able to speed up the rest of this team.
Yeah, it's Renata. I think Renata's the move. You take that for the counter engage. You end up being an on-hit Varus in the end of the day. So he's going to have to deal with a lot of dive. Of course, Alistar, Sivir, nice because Sivir, a lot of wave clear. You get to play things out from there, and then you don't have to play into the Alistar, which has a really good matchup for the Sivir. So a little bit surprised to see 1xN pull that one out. Again, we've seen some Sivir re-emerging in the back half of the split. It has been played by Leave once. It's the first Sivir game for 1xN. So ThunderTalk may be trying to take something new onto the stage before we end up in playoffs.
Yeah, and what this is going to mean for ThunderTalk is that you're going to have a lot of priority once you send the bot laners mid, because as we all know, Sivir is a wave clear machine. Absolutely rips through some of these waves faster than Varus, so should have priority for first move, provided you're not so far behind that you have to catch the waves low, right? You can go and you can catch them high if you get the opportunity to go shred those out. But then mostly, we're waiting for the level 6 show. We're waiting for these fights, maybe first grubs, because I really want to see this ThunderTalk team fight. They are a team that is ready to just pop their ultimate buttons and explode on the scene.
I mean, I think they'd love to take advantage of the level 6s in the top side, as both Rumble and Akali going to be really strong at that point of the game, whereas for me, NIP going to try and scale their way on up a little bit. Got to find some ways to deal with those champs later on. I think items on Varus could be big, and I think the focus for me probably going to be bot lane. I will say that in this top lane matchup, Gwen needs help on a couple of timers, potentially, to actually take care of business, or at least be able to survive the Rumble lane. If not, Rumble should be advantage, but curious to see what ends up being the game plan here. It's going on to the Rift for game 1. Yo.
What? You could
I'd say
hear that echo, by the way.
That was a home game. You know? That was a home game.
Home field advantage for NIP, man. That is insane. The echo on that was crazy. I think that's the loudest one I've heard all split so far. Wow.
I big fan of that one. Do you want to visit, though? Got a couple of keystones that are a little bit unique this game.
Okay.
Coming in.
Talk about it. Lay it on me.
First off, we have a ghost on Hoya. I know that's a summoner spell, but this has been the new adaptation of the matchup. Again, very good for the 1v1. Makes him a little bit more vulnerable to the Viari in the side lane. Doinb going to go with Grass, trying to survive the all-in from SeTab's Akali. Leave taking the ghost. I gotta say, there's nothing you can really cleanse this game, and I don't think you need barrier in this thing because you just straight up win it. So, love the fact we're able to greet a ghost. Yes, Wukong, Rumble, Alistar, if you're hit by that combo, that can be quite grim, but I think greeting Ghost here is the way to go for Leave. So really like when ADs are able to do this. And you can see ppgod and Leave. They're best to push TT around level 1.
Yeah, and, you know, while it is really deadly if you get hit by that combo, even if you had barrier, you would die to that combo. You die anyway, right? So if you're Leave, you're just looking for being able to position yourself well. He has had issues with positioning many, many times throughout the split, closer to the end of it. Not too many opportunities for TT to actually CC him, but if a carry hops on him, he might just die. Got an advantage in the spot lane, no surprise there. It's the double range.
Oh.
So we're going to see the heal forced out
Good
of
handshake.
Feather.
Nice handshake from ppgod. As we're seeing the Wukong go from bot to top in terms of the clear. I think that makes sense. You can see how bot lane's going. You got Alistar Sivir. That's pretty expected. A lot of scaling in the hands of that ThunderTalk bot lane, but that's going to need a lot of time to get going. So I think Wukong taking away the camps on his side before a Vi could invade is the right call. And it should be full clears for each of our junglers. See if there's any action afterwards, as you got to believe a dive might be on the table here for Aki and NIP.
That would be fantastic. Get the ball rolling early, especially because you've got a lot of early power in the Varus.
Pots are out.
So use that early power. Leverage that well, because as the game goes on, it's going to be harder and harder to do that based on ThunderTalk's comp.
See, another ward came out from ThunderTalk, so be denied by NIP. But again, Aki is playing with a lot of info down here for the squad, and really curious to see what happens after this crab. I think this is decision/choice time. Are we going for the dive, or are we just going to reset and go for the farm?
Where's MOBA Trainer when you need it, right? You know, you're gonna actually make a move. And Aki is
let's test him.
Yeah, Aki's been a player that has been much maligned throughout Split 2, and would really like to see him not go back here, but conditions are not super favorable as NIP. Their bot lane and mid lane want to take recalls here, so he'll redeploy on top.
Curious if we have a swap coming in. As I will say, getting Gwen out of the Rumble match early on might be okay. As we do see solo kill so far, at least staying in reach of this matchup. And yeah, this quick base from the Vi. We're skipping over our Krugs. This ward has been spotted by ThunderTalk, so Aki had a little bit of time to kill. Gonna poke his way around there, make sure that no one's waiting for solo kill. And we'll see if he ends up looking for Hoya after this, because they did have a timer on that ward that was pinged out by NIP, so might know that Hoya is down vision.
See a pink ward dropped in the river here just to cover any of that vision. So if XiaoHuanGren wants to get in, it's going to have to be through lane, or ppgod and Leave are going to have to be caught napping. We haven't pinged them out yet. I'm sure they're vocalizing it. As you can already see, that pink ward getting cleared out. IP's bot lane moving back.
I would be shocked if this dragon started. Yeah, this should be Vi's Drake for me. With the top to bottom clear, the strength of Vi taking away dragons, and the strength of the bot lane for NIP. And I gotta say, this game definitely gonna be one where, like, big picture, I think it's really important in the mid game that ThunderTalk's able to connect with the Wukong, Rumble, Alistar combos. Because on the flip side, I mean, I'm seeing Renata into a pretty short-ranged and melee-heavy team. And this Varus could be on hit. I do think that it's actually possible for the function in these fights. I know that the Rumble, Alistar, Wukong combo can be a lot, but he's got some good peel, and there's a lot of good answers for his team to try and buy some space. So I'm thinking that for ThunderTalk, I know they have a Sivir, but they got to connect with a couple of these combos if they want to at least extend that. And I think that Sivir, this isn't the freest game for Sivir. I think that Gwen can sometimes be a challenge for this champion. And especially a Vi, too, can be tricky.
Yeah, and, you know, as long as Wukong doesn't hop right on top of Leave, should be able to reposition well with that Ghost. But you said it about the Sivir, right? You know, even if you burn the spell shield, Vi is still on top of you. Might not be the primary target.
It. Yeah, you can smite off the spell shield, too. So definitely look out for Aki doing that later on.
Yeah, look for that tech later, as you said. But, you know, obviously that might not be the primary target for Aki, especially earlier in the game and closer to the mid game as we wait for Sivir to get to our big power later on. As this dragon does get started up by NIP, good call out by you. Doinb is going to just speed bump XiaoHuanGren.
I'm shocked that ThunderTalk were even thinking about doing that one, as again, denting blows plus the double range bot lane into Alistar priority will be enough for NIP to make that one look clean and clean up all the waves. And we'll see what happens with Grubs, as I see solo kill walking top as the Gwen. So our strong lane at the moment, again, would be this Varus plus Renata. So if we're not sending that top, I'm just kind of curious to see what happens with Grubs there. Doinb tries to click close and get a sidestep. Can't find it. And he's actually going to... He threw his Q at SeTab, so yeah, he's... Can't clear the entire wave.
Yeah, and, you know, it is very frustrating to see solo kill head top here. You know, you take a look, the CS disparity is, like, starting to grow. Aki hasn't done anything to help out his top laner. He's just kind of jailed in this matchup that we've talked about is not great.
I'd say he's within reach, though, to the expectations. It's less so about the 1v1, like about why we didn't send the bot lane top. It's more so about the objective and the Grubs, right? If we're able to push a lane in, if you're NIP, which, like, if they get this cannon mini wave in, and then they find a reset, and they're first on the play, you can find the 2v1 window where you can actually hit Grub and get a couple for free. At the moment, the Hoya is going to pop the Ghost and look for solo kill.
Yeah, the Equalizer's going to go down. Solo kill step back, just get the second part of his ultimate through. We do see XiaoHuanGren hunting around. Looks like he'll be starting up those Grubs first. Aki lying in wait, so look, Hoya won't be around.
I really feel like after that trade, I mean, Hoya's down a TP. I want to see Aki actually, like, walk down the river and fish. He's waiting to see if he can kill solo kill, but... Hoya. I think that this is late. I think that was a waste of time for me. There's no way that Hoya is going to put himself at risk. And, of course, it's going to be 2 Grubs secured by ThunderTalk. I think if Aki showed earlier, might have been able to, like, flip a 2-for-1 in favor of NIP. And, of course, that 2-for-1 in the new patch does mean that a feat, objective feat, does go over to ThunderTalk.
Yeah, and really good stuff there by ThunderTalk, because we talk about all the time how Gwen is so powerful on a side lane, right? And getting Grubs, super beneficial. Being able to take a lot of that power out of NIP means that NIP is going to have a harder time actually getting these turrets down with their 2 really strong solo laners. It does mean that Akali should have a better time matching at least one of them.
All right, Hoya, no ult, no ghost.
Revisit.
XiaoHuanGren's here, though.
Yeah, look who's lying in wait. He's ready to get in there. He's going to flash forward.
What?
Huh? All right. Teleport down. Cubby, can you explain that to me?
No, we're going to ignore it. Doinb is going to go catch that mid wave, and we're going to reset, Yanni.
I think we need the reset. I really think we do need the reset, brother. All right. 10 minutes into this game. Dragon, a little bit less than 2 minutes. Is Doinb... Oh, wait, hold on. We're going to go for a dive here. All right. There is almost no wave, but Feather will pop his ultimate. We don't need flash for this play on XiaoHuanGren, as 1XN will be able to pick up first blood.
That Feather presses R, tells the turret that he can't milk those, and is able to pull that one off as Doinb, a couple Spirit Rush used to get SeTab onto the turret, but only going to be out of defense. His first blood does go over to ThunderTalk. And that's a nice spot from them. I know ppgod came up to try and assist solo kill to see if he could survive this one. Successful swap, though, for ThunderTalk, as, again, Rumble going to be a little bit happier in this scenario than where Gwen would be. And you can see solo kill actually TPing to go top. So even in this scenario, just the fact that it's solo kill in the 2v2 is still going to be a loss, as that experience will be shared and it won't be solo Gwen XP. Handshake.
Oh.
We'll get 1xN potentially out of there.
Yeah, a little bit rough stuff there from 1XN. Forced to burn that cleanse as we see Feather moving down here to make a play on the Leave. Nice flash from Leave there. Gonna drop the equalizer right on his head. That is good damage coming down. Put that Varus on a spit roast.
Yeah, no, for me, this is a kind of a fail rotation from NIP. I think there's a world where a solo kill can TP bot, and you might be able to get Leave actually up here, because ThunderTalk, after they made that play, had the reset. But now you're stuck with, of course, Leave burning both summoner spells is still melting to the Rumble. And this Renata helping the Gwen is just not a big help. And, of course, the nice part about the draft for ThunderTalk is that at this point of the game, they have 2 winning side lanes into the Gwen. So solo kill going to continue to be put down, and SeTab now up there. Putting 1XN mid, so we're going to be able to catch these waves rather safely in the short lane. Whereas that Gwen being punished in the long lane by an Akali that's a little bit ahead.
Yeah, you've speed bumped the late game out of NIP. You've speed bumped their early game with Varus and how strong he can be. And right now, I mean, I'm looking at this mid-jungle duo of NIP, 12 minutes in, haven't done a damn thing. And Leave, listen, doesn't matter if you got Ghost, even if it's on cooldown. He will get healed, though, as the turnaround was quick. ppgod and Aki were able to take down Hoya.
Good heal coming out. Leave able to sneak on out of there. And the second dragon now get a fall over to NIP. Now, how much can they get in that top side? As we are 12 minutes in, NIP have abandoned this one. It's going to be at least a plate going over to SeTab with the group advantage. As both solo kill and Leave are heading to that top lane. Yeah, okay, yeah, we're going to sort things out here. Leave going mid, and we'll see if solo kill can survive a perspective dive from Feather. And ThunderTalk just spotted out.
It looks like we're making a big push for first turret here. SeTab and XiaoHuanGren will be able to pick those up.
Oh, we didn't
Seeing
spot
Feather
out.
move all the way in on to solo kill here. Knockup coming through with the Cyclone. SeTab, though, can't really get close. Trying desperately. Exhaust down to XiaoHuanGren. Solo kill putting out a lot of damage, and he finds the kill. SeTab forced to flash out, but a great job by solo kill.
Yeah, that's a good call, Yanni. I think that's a really big win for NIP. The fact that solo kill gets something and gets the flash out of SeTab, that's not all bad going down for one. Was taking a return. Of course, we did get the second dragon a little bit late on the plates for Leave. First brick does go over to ThunderTalk as they secure feats. And good use of the ult from Hoya as Equalizer delays that wave timer and a potential for more plates going over to Varus. So solo kill gets the best out of a bad scenario on the top side, but it's still a ThunderTalk win.
And you can see that NIP were moving down too. They wanted to dive Hoya. So I won't have that opportunity, and anything that you can do to prevent this Vi from using more ultimates is good. Let's take a look at this again. That was a really crafty Hex Flash there by Feather that you'll see very soon.
He only blinked. I mean, he blinked twice.
Mm-hmm.
That's a little bit tricky to catch. I think that it should still be an expectation to catch. Also, solo kill could walk against the wall where you're not spotted. Not the case, though. But the exhaust ends up coming up clutch as the W from XiaoHuanGren stuck him under the turret. And then, of course, SeTab going to wrap that one up. It does have to burn the flash. As meanwhile, Doinb's the one under threat. He's going to get a couple of grass blocks here, but does burn the ultimate for safety. And this top side still belongs to ThunderTalk.
And with the way this game is trending, I do worry that NIP, in the key parts of the game where they need to keep themselves in it, are not really going to have that much damage, right? Obviously, we're seeing Leave go with this on-hit build, which is totally fine. Obviously, going to have some really nice damage there, but I mean, Doinb is not going to hurt like anybody. I think his team is just going to die around him. And while he will be tanky and will have a lot of HP, he might just be the last one standing in these fights.
Of course, that Roa being completed, that's a little bit peculiar for me, given that it
I know you
was
hate it.
nerfed. I'm not a fan of it. I guess my cope for this game is that you can somewhat survive the Akali. I think that's got to be the idea for Doinb, and at least you're running grass, so you get a little bit more mileage out of it with overgrowth and points like that. Doinb did elect to go for that, but at the moment, Rift Herald being started here by ThunderTalk, and Aki, that vision of that brush.
All right. See if he gets interrupted, and he does. Feather's going to go in. Nice equalizer coming down. Feather going to tank up a lot of the damage. Now they're going to look for ppgod as Hoya Ghosts on top of him. Teleport coming in on the backside. Yeah, that was a nice ultimate. Looked over at SeTab is the perfect execution. Comes down to get the kill onto Aki. A 1-0. And the Herald secured for ThunderTalk.
That was a really nice ult on by leave to connect with SeTab when he landed, but the baby punch there from Aki actually knocked the Akali out of the charm. So they weren't able to find the chain CC because of that. So a little bit of dis-synergy coming out from NIP. That allows ThunderTalk to pick up a kill, a little bit more gold for themselves as they get the objective and a win after.
Not bad. Now we just need to see ThunderTalk really break things open using this Rift Herald, right? You know, these turrets are still relatively healthy in the mid lane and in the bot lane. Look for them to use it in about a minute's time, give or take, to try to secure this dragon and break NIP's dragon stacking. I think if you're able to do that, Cubby, it will be very difficult for NIP to find a way back in this game.
Of course, like the Saber with the infinite wave clear hack coming in later on. And that dragon is definitely
Doinb was the one with the hack.
Yeah, okay, well, that's true. Well, unfortunately, the only thing that's been hacked about Doinb is the fact that he can't find Rise in Champ Select because it's always just B1 banned.
They're hacking away this champion pool, bro. It's tough.
Everyone in the LPL hates copy pastas because Doinb's Rise has been permaban for, like, the entire split for NIP. But you know what? Deservedly so, as, 95% of games, Rise take it away. The second most banned, Galio and 46%. That's the Doinb diff right there. And I think that the call that you made was good. I mean, that's part of the reason why Aki's gotten so much flack this split. Is when you're playing with Doinb, you know, you're getting 2 bans like that, and he is such a supported mid laner historically. And then you're not able to perform as a jungler. I mean, that is cause for concern, right?
All right, here we go. We're driving it in, so Twitch chat's going to make an appearance and start chipping on this turret. Let's see if ThunderTalk's dive makes an appearance. It looks like the wave will be cleared out. Just getting priority for this river. Pink ward going down, so they're aware of all of NIP's vision. The problem is it's not on the dragon. This one is getting done. Solo kill, not really close, but he's starting to come through on the other side here. This dragon is still really healthy. SeTab looking to mark solo kill over on the side as they will begin their own 1v1. NIP looks for a way into this pit. Feather with a huge 3-man knockup, and they put NIP in the bounce house. Down goes Aki, down goes Doinb, and down goes this dragon.
And this setup's just not in NIP's favor, and we're not seeing Aki pull the trigger on anyone. Like, if you're playing Viari, and you're not able to play off each other or set each other up, you are so nerfed. The fact that Feather was not only able to pull the trigger, but find an engage like that. What it starts with the fight from Feather. And again, we talked about this mid-game, utilizing the Wukong, Alistar, and the Rumble. Hoya, there's a reason that Rumble's been his most played, and the Hoya's traditionally that supported tank player. He has proven his Rumble is one to be feared in the limited amount of games that ThunderTalk's actually been able to play and win. That was a really good setup by Feather and a really good play by ThunderTalk to find that fight win.
Very, very snappy. And you touched on it a moment. Aki not doing anything. Again, this goes back to what we were just talking about, how he's gotten so much flack this season, right? They triple ban Doinb. You get the Vi. They leave the Vi up for you, which has been a champion that has been pick ban. And it's so incredibly good, and you're just not able to do anything with it. Vi Ahri is 0-3-1 in this game. That is, like, illegal.
I think the approaches from Aki to both the objective fights have been really poor. The first fight, he got his Q canceled and had to immediately flash out thanks to Feather. And then the second one, Feather's the one pulling the trigger. NIP was out of position. They try to contest, and they get punished heavily. So, again, like, if you're Aki, you got to be able to pull the trigger on someone If you go onto Wukong, you might be able to find the clone, but no, it's Feather taxis along with ppgod. Beautiful setup and wombo combo coming out from ThunderTalk. They made that one look easy, and no fight to be had. That one's over before it starts.
We had a nice cinematic view there. Always love when they get to pull that one out, and the hometown crowd has been silenced to this point, Cubby. It is a 3,500 gold lead for ThunderTalk. Remember, ThunderTalk did break that dragon stacking, which we were like, hey, if NIP can at least hang their hat on that, you never know what happens. You get that soul, regardless of how far down you are. We'll give you opportunities to come back, but looking more like a pipe dream now.
I mean, that Alistar combo.
It was nutty.
That turned the arena into a church, and then they were all baptized by fire from that Hoya equalizer. As now,
yeah, that's a game-winning play for sure.
Yeah, Otacon going to try and baptize them with a nice little buff on takedowns.
All right, nice mark there by Feather to keep Aki out. Otacon goes over to ThunderTalk, but what is the fight? It looks like it's all NIP here as they're able to pick off two. Doinb with 2 more charges. Not going to be able to find anything more, but Aki and Leave are certainly going to look for more. Hoya's going to stay. Flash ultimate used, and 1xN is cooked. And NIP starting for the comeback here. Good charm into handshake as their 5-man diving. ppgod will give his life, but that is so worth for NIP.
Yeah, well done there by NIP. They actually get a fight with good conditions. They're able to capitalize. Shout out to Aki. Did find the smite to get the spell shield off as he connected with a cease and assist. And now SeTab trying to connect himself.
Uh-oh. Solo kill. Just getting solo killed. It's a continuation of the 1v1.
All right. Again, a Cubby into Gwen. Definitely some perks in this mid game. Cashed in by SeTab. As a couple trades come in. SeTab going to help mitigate the damage done. As, of course, Otacon, that buff was picked up. That does buff up all the dragons you're able to pick up. As well as gives you a slow field on the takedowns. Quite nice. But this replay, these were poor conditions coming out for ThunderTalk. As, I mean, Leave connects with a really good ult on the XiaoHuanGren. That's chained up really nicely by ppgod. Feather is in Narnia, just trying to zone Aki out, which is fine. But the dive comes in from Aki. Again, you're going to see cease and assist into the smite of the spell shield. So the ult to the absorbers for picking that one up. That's a freebie, and ppgod, I think that this is a very worthy death. He goes down to martyr in this one.
Yeah, if you're not going to be able to smite objectives this game, you may as well smite off the shield. So, good stuff there from Aki. And we'll see if NIP is able to kind of find their way back in. They are still down quite a bit of gold. It's 1,000 less than it was before. But this next dragon fight, ThunderTalk is already in position for. And it looks like NIP, if I were you, I would sit this fight out. But they've never met a fight they didn't like.
Well, XiaoHuanGren, I think that he was so far up there that Aki was a bit surprised. Frankly, I think that Aki could have pulled the trigger.
Yeah.
But Solo Kill doesn't have a TP, and they want to leave him to his own devices in the top side. So, Gwen with no TP. Looks like we just might have a trade here with NIP dropping this dragon. Giving away 2 mountain dragons. It's a little dangerous. TT not starting it yet, and they are going to see Hoya respond. So this will give Solo Kill a chance to actually base, pick up that bot wave, and rejoin NIP. So NIP surviving that window is pretty big, but now XiaoHuanGren has started the objective.
Yeah, the more time you give to Solo Kill, really, I mean, he is going to be the big carry in this game.
SeTab snuck in, too.
Him and 1xN, really.
Look at SeTab.
Oh, SeTab is just going to kill Solo Kill here. Even with the ward down, actually, we'll see. As now, Leave is in position to be able to help out on SeTab. Meanwhile, Aki getting in there, but he can't secure the objective, and he goes down. Solo Kill over on the other side. Goes down. Feather, not quite landing the same one he did last time, but XiaoHuanGren, once in, he'll Cyclone and then spin out. Now Doinb on the chase here. He's got 2 more charges left of his ultimate. Charm not going to land. Ends up just being another 1-for-0 in favor of ThunderTalk, and they get the objective.
Yeah, I know that you have Aki going for the steal, but it didn't look very close there, Yanni. As this is also the type of game where I actually really like when Vise goes Sterak second. Black Cleaver doesn't really buff up your solo laners, and you need to be tankier when you have a Renata support. As you're going to see Feather. He gets the stun off. And Aki going in, misses the Q. Yes, does find the Sivir, but there's no follow-up. Doinb wasn't able to ult and actually chase down 1xN, so Aki just kind of goes down free. Feather does miss out on the combo, but the damage was already done. So second dragon picked up here by ThunderTalk to continue the path their lead.
Yeah, again, it's not the end of the world. You know, NIP, again, still down less than 3,000 gold at this point as they've, you know, pulled it back compared to where they were before that Otacon play. And again, you're really just trying to hang your hat on solo kill. The problem is, will solo kill get online before 1xN is Thanos Sivir and is able to just deal a million damage?
That's a good question. That's a good question. The Flicker Blades being in for Sivir is big, and you gotta believe it's gonna be an Infinity Edge next, which that makes Sivir a rather big problem. But props to NIP here. Was trying to create something going on with the Viari. I think that I'd rather attack the Rumble side lane. I don't know how attackable Akali is here, because it's, you gotta believe it's just gonna be Shroud and the have enough HP to get out.
Okay. All right, they layer everything really well. SeTab just stepped up a little bit too far.
Oh.
Nice job there by Aki. Wow, what a prediction. And they are able to kill the Akali on the side lane.
I was a little bit concerned because the Charm and the Cease and Assist, they weren't chained up well. It was like they were layered a little bit, but the red buff was ticking, so you could see the Shroud and Aki able to connect with the Smite. The response from ThunderTalk, though, starting up this Baron. SeTab has TP when he spawns, and Aki has to hoof it over here. Might use this to bait, though. Leaves in trouble.
Yeah, leave. Oh, he failed. Oh, no. XiaoHuanGren, and now they're going to try to turn on the solo kill. Leave misses ultimate, but he still gets engaged on the backside. Doinb going to try to peel. Meanwhile, solo kill going so deep, unable to kill Hoya. It has to dash back. Second time in, but what a charm. What a charm to shut down XiaoHuanGren.
I mean, the failed W over the wall is tough, because I do think they have a nice pinch on the leave. I don't like how it's the equalizer to try and set it up. I think there's a real world where you can bait that you're going back to it and actually force an IP to walk in, walk up, and then find the chain. But between the mechanical fails and a couple things not going their way, ThunderTalk give a gift over to NIP, and that's a lot of gold in their pockets now before this upcoming dragon.
Yeah, this game is pretty much even now, Cubby. NIP have been incredibly resilient. Let's take a look at this replay.
Sadly, this is a battle of the bottom moment.
Yes, yes it is.
I gotta say, you gotta be in the corner for that one, Wukong. You can't be that far up. You gotta be down a little bit further if you want to get over. You see XiaoHuanGren there. Doing the banana combo. Yeah, he banana combos, and then he goes in and gets charmed up. You could call Yanni. That was a pretty nice one from Doinb. It charmed us up here in the caster booth. Yeah. Yeah,
for real. I mean, you know, it stops the second part of the Cyclone, which would have been so big there. Potentially fight warping and maybe put it back into the side of ThunderTalk. And now he has no flash, but solo kill winning the 2v1. He ends up going 1-for-1 in it, but you will take that every day of the week.
Hey, I'm gotta say, this Gwen's starting to get pretty big. And we aren't at the point yet where Sivir's breaking this game, Yanni. Also, it is a world that, you know, with Varus, with Renata, yes, Sivir has an IE, but there is a real world where NIP can actually burn through the Sivir. Of course, Gwen has some unique ways to play defense, too, with that Mist. The Shroud, right, going untargetable, so I don't hate things for NIP going on. I know it can be difficult going into a Sivir comp, but this isn't like that traditional, you know, we have a tank, we have the biggest front line on the planet Sivir comp. We're going to get another look solo kill. Even now with Hoya, and is going to fully connect. That's very clean. I guess solo kill actually got off of the equalizer sooner. Maybe there's a world where he's able to do a little bit more damage there. But not the case. Instead, it's Baron started, and this is not spotted yet by NIP.
Yeah, they have an inkling of an idea that this is happening, so they are going to walk up as for the Baron. That is also slow. It is not a fast Baron at all.
Yeah, Dragon is up 2, so I think ThunderTalk maybe trying to hit this to pull them away from that objective. As Doinb is staying to clean up a control ward, but that is going to be mid-controlled defaulted over to NIP. And now we'll see what kind of choice Doinb wants to make with his squad. Is it going to be the Dragon focus? Does it look like solo kill is going to be soloing out the monster objective?
Yeah, good stuff there by NIP. You can allocate those resources over because ThunderTalk just doesn't do this Baron very quickly. They haven't started it up yet either. Doinb over to the side, lands a nice little charm there, but not too much the rest of NIP can really do. Yeah, I'm quite surprised by that too.
I am very surprised. I like how NIP is playing this. They're pretty much just daring ThunderTalk to start the Baron. And I don't think they can. If they do, it gives Viari a really good angle. So that I liked how that sequence was played out by NIP, and they get themselves a free soul point. Deny a red buff, significant post-Baron, as that's everyone wearing that one. And XiaoHuanGren is, unfortunately...
He's dead.
Yeah, this has been...
There's not much more you can say.
It's been two pretty big oopsies from XiaoHuanGren. And again, player that was not expected to play at the LPL level. The developmental jungler for ThunderTalk in the LDL. Between the W not getting over the wall and getting caught out in a pretty bad spot there. Not playing to a strong side of the map. Well, that's just Smite off the board of the free Baron for NIP.
All right, it looks like ThunderTalk might want to fight this one. Doinb not going to be able to land the charm. Decent equalizer as Hoya is overheated and going in and dealing a bunch of damage. And two members are golden, avoiding the ultimate. Ooh. Big knock up there from Feather. And this is going to be an ace. It's a quadra kill for Sivir. The question is, can they actually find solo kill? And they will. ThunderTalk with an amazing fight.
That was crazy from 1xN. I was not expecting to see that. Feather had another big combo at 1xN. The bouncing Infinity Edge was cleaning up in the Baron pit. As that one got a little bit dicey, ThunderTalk find a huge win, wipe the Baron off the map, and that's going to be an inhibitor down.
Yeah, and the two Zhonyas to avoid of the hostile takeover, right? It just meant that NIP, they had nobody to hit. And by the time they came back up, they were just all dead. It was easy pickings.
That was... I was not expecting that one. I want to replay that fight. As 1xN, again, the carry that was the second team All-Pro in Split 1 has really had some nice moments on this team. Doinb throws out the charm. It goes wide. He gets CC'd, so that's a lot of chip damage early on. Hoya's doing a nice job in this one, too. Everyone's trapped in the pit, and that is not the best place hostile takeover, as it really didn't threaten 1xN. Didn't threaten a lot of people, and the Shroud coming down was the only thing that saved the pentakill from going over to 1xN.
Yeah, and you know, that's a really tough fight for Feather because he hit everybody. The problem is, two Zhonyas, Alistar ultimate cleanses it, and 1xN used the spell shield on him. He actually hit all four members. It just did not matter.
Wow. All right. I missed that one. I thought I went wide. Well,
damn, that
was big.
I don't know what else. I'm sorry, ppgod, I should say. I don't know what else ppgod really had to do there. Like, he tried.
You could maybe try and like R flash, right?
Yeah.
So to catch Sivir off guard, but again, 1xN has cleanse, so I'd say that's probably a waste as well. It's just like Aki has flash up. There was no cease and assist. I think that again, you just really have to find a way to pressure the Sivir. We'll also say that like Baron debuff and rumble damage, very significant. So Hoya for sure did a really nice job in that fight too to really help get people low and set up nicely for 1xN, who, he just one-shot Berserker Greaves, Immortal Reminder, and a Vamp Scepter, which is great later on to help your conditions so much being on the map. So this Sivir just exploded in value. And that's going to be a real difficulty now for NIP to knock off the board, because as you posed the question earlier, Yanni, who can carry harder, this Gwen or the Sivir? I think Sivir sitting at these items this point of the game, that's going to be really tough for NIP to deal with.
Yeah, right now, Solo Kill's driving down the highway, but 1xN is driving down the Autobahn right now, going much faster. Now NIP's singular hope has to be on this dragon. It is their Mountain Soul in a minute. They need to set up well for it. We've seen their setups be a little iffy at times, but we've also seen them be able to pick off XiaoHuanGren very, very often. Uh-oh, teleport coming from behind. Could be cooked. Aki going to be able to get onto 1xN. He's going to use a spell shield. It's going to be knocked off too. The cleanse, but he's dead. Solo kill coming in from behind, doing a lot of damage to Feather over on the backside. They're ripping apart this back line. Leave is bleeding out, and he goes down. 3v3. SeTab trying to get out. He goes back in. Good damage, but Solo kill's gone golden. Hoya once back in is burning them alive. Aki will be in stasis, and now XiaoHuanGren and Hoya trying to do their thing. The charm is out. The damage is not quite there. It's the Doinb drain tank in the 1v1, but Hoya is the last man standing. Quadra kill for the ThunderTalk top laner.
I mean, this Rumble's been massive this game, as that was a crazy fight. We did utilize the flashes to actually find Sivir in the backline, but Hoya was the only person standing. He's trying to end the game.
He is. I mean, all right, we have 15 seconds. He's overheated. He's dealing good damage here.
He cannot end.
Yeah, no, this was an ill-advised move, Hoya.
I think that if he's able to base and maybe TP back for the Dragon, I mean, keep in mind, this is Dragon's Soul for NIP, a Mountain Soul at that, one of the strongest souls you can find in the game. So it's a pretty big deal for whoever gets control over this. I think the Super Wave is going to be enough, but man, going to replay some chaos here. Aki had a nice fight. He finds 1xN with a Q flash.
Oh, beautiful.
Holds off on the cease and assist until the spell shield's down, then finds it with Doinb, so the Vi does work here. Really nice combo, but that hostile takeover was really early and unwarranted from ppgod. If he had it here, I think it's an easy fight win for NIP, but he threw that one out trying to chain CC 1xN. That was an overkill and a major tool lost. We got to get back to live, though, because this Dragon... It's SeTab with the Banshees now on the flank.
Equalizer, good damage. Oh, goodness, this is a disaster. Leave mispositioning, as usual, goes down. XiaoHuanGren on the backside. It's a double kill for the Sivir. Aki will be able to at least kill him on the backside, but ThunderTalk absolutely run over NIP.
I think that just might be it. We're dropping the Dragon. We're heading for the base, and yeah, that hostile takeover from ppgod in that last fight, I feel like that was really costly. If he saves that again, it could have been a wipe for NIP and a Mountain Soul at that. Instead, they come back in the fight. Hoya capitalizes. Beautiful from him, as that equalizer made the fight so easy for ThunderTalk, who had their flashes up this time around, and are going to cash in against NIP.
Doinb in the 3v1, couldn't kill the minions. He will fall. Aki is here, but the Nexus is exposed. Aki is no longer here. And ThunderTalk take game one.
Hey, it was back and forth, but Hoya's Rumble, I think, deserves MVP for that one. And it was a near pentakill for 1xN, but man, I thought Hoya was fantastic in that game with that first pick. This has been a pick that he has really proven that he can play as someone that is usually a tank player, but man, that Rumble was game-changing that game.
Yeah, you know, gets the pick that he wants on B1, manages to hold down solo kill, make sure this Gwen has a hard time getting off the ground. And then, as you said, had some really nice equalizers, but that last fight in particular was absolutely phenomenal. It was a really nice equalizer to kick things off, just to make sure that Leave was just dead. And then even the fight before that was just so good. Really, not... you could say so many good things about Hoya in this particular game in a year where it's been a bit of a struggle. He has also been the target of much criticism. Has the ThunderTalk.
Yeah. I mean, he was a player that in the lane swap meta, I think that was, as you highlighted, Yanni, right? Both of these teams had a lot more success in Split 1. The lane swap meta was great for Hoya. He was able to play the tanks. He was really comfortable in the lane swaps. He was playing the map well. TT actually had a good idea of how to play with direction with Beishuan and play out their 4-1s really well with Hoya on bigger champs. And they pulled off the upset of Split 1, right? They won against BLG in a best of 5. That was unheard of in the group stage. So I think that Hoya, again, when we get back to standard laning and just some of the different champs we've seen, it has been a little bit weaker of a matter for him. But, hey, that Rumble's always been fantastic. Definitely going to prove he can play the Scion. And good to see Hoya have a nice game here. Big playmaker. Finds that second win of the split on the Rumble. And was looking good. I think it's going to be a pog for him, really.
And on the other side, NIP continuing to struggle. A player that they put a lot of power into in Leave. Once again, a couple of fights that were just not great. It's hard against a Rumble, but this guy has had so many issues in other games against other champions that you have to just be hyper aware of that.
I don't disagree, but I think that when you're playing Varus plus Renata, you got to get value out of the Renata ults, and those Renata ults were just not good enough from ppgod. So I think that didn't help Leave, because, again, you are playing one of the most difficult champions to position as in the on-hit Varus. So
that's why you have the Ghost.
Yeah, I feel like they just really dropped the ball overall. And we'll see as we go through the replay what we find is, damn, Hoya dropping a bomb on the map, man. That's a lot of Rumble damage coming in. And you can see the back and forth of the game. NIP almost got themselves back in there. Had a couple decent fights against that Sivir. And what ThunderTalk were able to throw out, but couldn't convert it into a win.
Yeah, I really want to highlight SeTab and Feather this game as well, because Hoya and 1xN are going to get all the accolades, right? It's either going to be one or the other that's getting this MVP. I thought SeTab played a really strong game, very early on. Obviously, as it got later, didn't really be the star of the show, but did a lot early on to bridge the gap to get 1xN to where he needed to be. And yes, that's why I was saving Feather for last, because Feather did so much this game. He did have that one oopsie, but he had so many of these that it erases all the bad.
No, I agree. I think that Feather was really clutch. Pretty much every fight that we're seeing. I mean, again, Feather, he gets caught out on this one, but he's keeping Aki out as they secure Otacon. He's kind of doing his job here. I know that this is the one fight that really collapsed things. He got things back in the favor of NIP.
Yeah.
So I can't blame him even too much for that, because the goal was Otacon, right? And if you give yourself for securing Otacon, that's worth it, that point of the game. Baron fight is 2. We're going to see him set up Hoya. I'm sure they're going to show that one up next. So I don't know if it's going to be a Feather Pog, but if it is, I wouldn't be complaining too much, Yanni. I think that's a good shout.
Yeah, if it's Hoya, if it's 1xN, if it's Feather, cool. That's fine. Either of them deserve it.
Yeah, well, watch this from Feather.
Yeah, it's so hard. They do so much in this fight. Everybody literally shows up. It's this one right here. It's this right here.
Yeah, that Renata ult wasn't good.
Yeah,
that's a big one there from Feather, and those bouncing blades doing overtime as 1xN
should have had that.
Continues to be an impressive AD, man. I gotta say, I still think 1xN's a much better player in the league than being like a 10th place AD. Of course, his team being in 10th place. 1xN's not a 10th place AD in this league.
Can I change my prediction, by the way? I'm going to be honest. Coming into this, for play-ins, coming into this, I thought that there was going to be a very noticeable gap between ThunderTalk and NIP. There is. It's just the other way around.
Well, yeah, it wasn't that game, that's for sure, Yanni.
I just Doinb. Brother, I need to see more on this Ari.
Yeah.
I
think ppgod played very poorly.
Yeah, he just wasn't able to actually make plays around the map, right?
This hostile takeover hit no one, man.
Yeah, no, it was a disaster. I mean, ppgod played a particularly poor game.
Yeah, I think ppgod played really poorly in the Renata this game. That was a grim one.
There wasn't really a lot to like.
You're really empowered. Like, you got to play well with the Varus, and you're against a really melee-heavy comp. Like, everyone's a melee but Sivir, and Sivir's short range. I would say the spell shield would be good against it, but yeah, those Renata ults have to be better if you want the Varus to actually be able to survive fights, and they were not, so that was grim.
Yeah, and you get such an impactful pick, obviously, for lane, which, was doing pretty well early, but then just to be able not to do much in these later fights means that, Renata is a lot worse when her ultimates are not really that great. I do want to give a little bit of a shout to Aki in this game, because he has been a guy that has also been the target of a lot of criticism. His early game was really, really poor, didn't really do much of anything, but started to come on strong as the game went on, did have some solid ult targeting, did make some pretty solid plays in the side lane. Again, nothing that's like, wow, but it's like, hey, he wasn't really the big reason in this game. As our player of the game does go to Hoya, well-deserved.
Yeah, the boom boom damage is really nice from Hoya, who I know that he's 1-5 in the Rumble now, 2-5 in the Rumble, but I swear it's better than what it shows in the record. And good for Hoya picking that up. Really nice game for him, but excited to see if he can do it again in game 2.
Yeah, we'll see if he is able to do so. We're going to go and take a short break. When we return, we'll have some fun with MOBA Trainer, and then we'll really get into the Game 2 draft between NIP and ThunderTalk. We'll see you on the other side.